Okay, so hopefully this doesn't cut off, and hopefully 29 gigabytes is enough to shoot this whole thing and then talk about this. Bruce Springsteen's new album, Letter to You, which came out 3, 4 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago now. And the album has 12 new songs from the man himself. And this is the first album that Bruce has done with the E Street Band since 2014's High Hopes. And much like High Hopes, this album is comprised of mainly new material, but a few re recorded, redone versions of songs that Bruce had recorded much earlier. So this time, Bruce, who is now 71, was focusing on themes of mortality, facing the past, and really just kind of confronting your flaws. Well, like I said, confronting the past. And I think one of my favorite songs on this album would have to be Ghosts. And like much like I said, how this is about confronting your mortality and looking at your past. The song is basically about Bruce singing about the past bands he's been in, the bandmates that are either still around or didn't make it, and just the power of music and how it just brings people together, all that great stuff. It's definitely one of the best songs in the album, aside from the title track and several other great tunes as well. Um, One thing I really loved about this is that I didn't realize how much I had missed. I mean, Western Stars last year was a fine album, no doubt about it, but I really missed hearing the saxophone solos and Bruce's music because that's been a mainstay of his ever since he founded the E Street Band. Maybe not so much in Greetings from Asbury Park. I don't remember there any sax solos on there at all. Oh, no, no. There was one in Spirit in the Night. Never mind. But yeah, I never really realized how much I appreciate sax music until I heard this album. And Jake Clemens is proving more and more that he was a great replacement for Clarence. I mean, nothing is ever going to top Clarence Clemens' sax work. But Jake, his nephew of the late sax player, great, great guy. Love his stuff. Awesome man. Um, and it was really great to see Bruce produce another album with the fact that he's getting up there in age. I mean, there's a lot of musicians out there now that are still making music, even though they're well into their 60s and 70s. I mean, like AC/DC and Kenny Loggins certainly come to mind. They're still doing great stuff. Bon Jovi, they're in like their late 50s right now. So, I mean, there's still a lot of old school musicians that are still getting it done and kicking ass. Um, Although I think Kenny Loggins is kind of just doing his legacy tours now. But no, I really do appreciate Bruce's music. I think it was a wonderful return to form. I'm not. I mean, a lot of people are saying that this is his best album since Born in the USA. I don't know. Best album since Born in the USA. I think we're kind of discrediting a lot of other albums that Bruce has produced. I think the last great album he had before this. Well, I don't know. I'd probably say The Rising because that was the album that revitalized his career after the '90s, which didn't really do so well. But I think this is probably maybe in a few years this could be definitively considered a top 10, but definitely a top 10 at minimum for best albums. Um and the one thing I really do love about this is that much of the songs deal with, old age, mortality, and just kind of a lot of themes that you tend to deal with and think about when you're much older. So this album's not going to age poorly. For people like me, you still appreciate the music because it sounds good and you love Bruce Springsteen. But when you get older, you appreciate it even more because you can relate to, empathize, and sympathize with the themes more easily. Like, I can understand some of the themes, but I can't really relate to them as much. I'm probably not gonna be able to relate to this as much until I get to be my parents' age, and they're both 62. So I got a long way to go before I could start relating to some of the themes about death, mortality, and just facing down the past and your demons. You know. But I mean, overall, I think this was a wonderful album. I'm surprised. I tried shooting this thing a few days ago, but I had tech issues, and that's probably why I've been trying to keep it under 5 minutes. I really do think that Bruce did a great job at coming back. I really hope there's at least one or two more albums left in him before he retires. And hopefully this COVID stuff will end soon so we can see Bruce perform this live in front of an actual audience. I mean, it's gonna be a while. I mean, Biden got elected president a few days ago, so maybe we'll start, heading in the right direction to turn this down. But all in all, great album, absolute return to form for Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band. Love it. I love how the album has like this Christmassy vibe with the snow going around Bruce and stuff. I really enjoy his music. This is definitely one of those albums you really need to listen to, especially if you're a Bruce fan. I think you're really gonna like it. So that's all I have to say for that. And I am going to do my cover of Letter to You later in the week. And I'll see you then. Take care.